At this time, I would like to call the March the 3rd, 2026 Stanley County Board of Education meeting to order. Welcome to those of you that are here in attendance and to those that may be joining us via live streaming. We appreciate your support of Stanley County Schools. At this time, may I have a motion to amend the agenda to make Section K a discussion of a joint meeting from the county commissioners?
I make a motion that we amend the agenda and add for item K to add for discussion for the meeting between the Stanley County Board of Education and the Stanley County Commissioners.
I have a motion. Okay, I have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The agenda has been amended. May I now have a motion to approve the amended March the 3rd, 2026 regularly monthly meeting agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Whitaker, a second by Ms. Watson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The agenda has been approved. Thank you. We will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance at this time. I would like to call on Mr. Dustin Lisk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for today and for the opportunity to serve our county, for bringing us together. We pray for strength and guidance that you help us make the right decisions on behalf of our students, families, staff, teachers, taxpayers in our county. We pray that we're good Christians in everything that we do and everything that action we take. Please guide and direct us. In your name we pray. Amen. Let's stand for the pledge, please.
This is always an exciting time of our evening. We have lots of recognitions tonight. Dr. Dennis and Mr. Plummer, I will turn this over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Each month, Stanley County Schools proudly recognizes exceptional certified and classified employees as Stanley Stars. This month, we honor the following individuals. From Albemarle High School, EC Resource Teacher, Miss Marquita Hamilton. Albemarle High School says they would like to recognize Miss Hamilton as their certified Stanley Star. Marquita began full-time at Albemarle High School in August 2017 after previously serving students at Albemarle Middle School. She truly bleeds Bulldog love. She is fully committed to our school and community and makes a daily difference in the lives of our students. As an EC teacher, Marquita supports students in math classes, offers math tutoring before school, serves as the lead mentor, and chairs the seniors committee. She has also previously served on the school improvement team. Whatever needs to be done, Marquita will jump in and get it done. Always smiling, positive, and kind, Marquita is a true joy to work with and a shining example of Bulldog pride. Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. Also from Albemarle High School, EC Teacher Assistant Michelle Lumen. Albemarle High School would like to recognize Michelle Lumen as our classified Stanley Star. Ms. Lumen began full-time work at Albemarle High School on January 5th, 2024, after serving Albemarle High School for many, many years as a substitute. Ms. Lumen serves in one of our EC extended classrooms and as a teacher assistant. Since October, she has stepped up to serve as the classroom teacher while the teacher is on maternity leave. Ms. Lumen is patient with students and supportive of staff, creative in her lesson planning, and always focused on what is best for kids. She rarely misses work and currently serves on our school improvement team. Ms. Lumen is a valued member of the Albemarle High School staff. We are grateful for the care, consistency, and heart she brings to our Bulldog family every day. Congratulations. From Millingport Elementary School, we have Miss Angela Helms. Prior to that, she served as a teaching assistant before following her dream to become a certified teacher. Having supported students from the sidelines before leading the classroom, she understands learning from every angle. She knows how to meet students where they are, anticipate struggles, and quietly scaffold success, because she has spent years watching what works and what doesn't. That experience shows in the way her lessons are structured, support is layered, and every student feels seen. Her journey models perseverance and growth. Her students see firsthand that hard work, patience, and dedication open doors. Ms. Helms doesn't just talk about grit or goal setting, she lives it. For many students, especially those who doubt their own potential, her example is powerful. In reading, her impact is transformative. Ms. Helms knows how to build confidence in hesitant readers, stretch strong readers further, and creates a confident and hesitant readers. Stretch strong readers further, and creates a classroom culture where text feels accessible and meaningful. She celebrates progress, not just performance, helping students discover that reading is not just a skill, but a doorway to understanding the world and themselves. Ultimately, Ms. Helms changes lives, not only by strengthening literacy skills at a critical grade level, but by showing students that growth is possible. Voices matter, and their own stories are still being written. We are fortunate to have Ms. Helms in our Wildcat family. Congratulations. And also from Millingport Elementary School, school nurse Miss Leanne Johnson. Nurse Johnson is loved by all at Millingport Elementary. And we are just one of the many schools she serves. Despite being spread thin, Nurse Johnson is extremely dependable and professional, giving every Wildcat her undivided attention when it is needed. She is often one of the first to notice when something isn't right, whether it's a student who keeps visiting with headaches that turns out to be anxiety, a chronic condition that needs careful monitoring, or signs that a family needs extra support. By catching concerns early, she helps prevent small issues from becoming major barriers to learning. Nurse Johnson's office is a safe space. Students know there is an adult who will listen, care for them without judgment, and help them feel better physically and emotionally. Her impact extends beyond individual students. Nurse Johnson supports attendance, manages medication safely, responds to emergencies with calm expertise, and guides staff through health plans and protocols. She is an essential partner in keeping classrooms running smoothly and safely. She serves as a bridge between school, home, and healthcare providers, educating families, advocating for students, and ensuring that every child's health needs are understood and met. Because of her invaluable support, students and their teachers are able to spend more time focused on learning. We are incredibly grateful to have Nurse Johnson as part of our Wildcat family. Congratulations.
How many of these do we have?
Like 30.
Sounds like I thought. I was trying to count out there. I was like, there's no way. It just looks thicker than it is, I guess.
Next up, National Board Certification is widely regarded as the pinnacle of professional achievement in education, representing the profession's highest standard. This evening, we are profoundly honored to recognize 2 Stanley County School staff members who have achieved this rigorous goal and attained this prestigious certification. We ask our honorees to please come forward and be recognized and remain here afterward so our board members may personally shake hands and offer their congratulations. First, congratulations to Taylor Smith. Ms. Smith is an 8th grade English language arts teacher at West Stanley Middle School. Her dedication led her to successfully earn the esteemed National Board Certification in December in English Language Arts and Early Adolescence. Also, congratulations to Casey Maynor. Ms. Maynor is a 7th grade English Language Arts teacher at West Stanley Middle School, also earned her National Board Certification in December for English Language Arts and Early Adolescence. Congratulations to you both. Last month, we recognized several of our elementary schools. Tonight, we are proud to recognize and celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of our secondary schools during the 2024-2025 school year. Their dedication, perseverance, and commitment to student success have resulted in measurable academic growth across our district. First, we honor the schools that met academic growth. Meeting growth is no small achievement. It reflects focused instruction, strong leadership, and a shared commitment among teachers, staff, students, and families to ensure continuous progress. These schools have demonstrated that steady, intentional work leads to meaningful results. Congratulations to Albemarle High School. South Stanley High School. And West Stanley High School. Along with these schools, we are especially proud to recognize the schools that exceeded academic growth. Exceeding growth represents extraordinary effort. It means these schools not only met expectations but went beyond them, accelerating learning and creating opportunities for students to thrive at even higher levels. Congratulations to North Stanley Middle School. South Stanley Middle School. West Stanley Middle School. Stanley Early College. And Stanley STEM Early College.
Kind of stand up this way. Make small faces. That'll work.
I don't want them to go too far. Oh, we should do those and put them all together.
Hey, y'all don't go too far. Don't go too far. Congratulations. Keep doing it.
I am for a long
Congratulations. Congratulations. Keep doing it. She don't listen. Before I let them get too far, and get seated, it is my honor to recognize two exceptional schools for an extraordinary accomplishment during the 24-25 school year also. Both schools have earned state recognition for their outstanding graduation rates, placing them in the prestigious 100% Club. This distinction reflects a remarkable achievement, every student graduating, every student crossing the finish line, and every student prepared for the next chapter of their journey. Reaching a 100% graduation rate does not happen by chance. It is the result of dedicated educators who invest deeply in their students, strong leadership that fosters a culture of high expectations and support, and students who demonstrate perseverance and commitment to their goals. Please join me in congratulating Stanley Early College and Stanley STEM Early College. Behind all of these great things that we hear about schools, we know that it's teachers who have their feet on the floor doing this work day in, day out. Last month, we focused on elementary schools. This month, we are looking at our middle and high school teachers who exceeded growth for the 2024-2025 school year. So we are excited to recognize these teachers and hopefully see them pull out the same things going through this year. So please join me in congratulating Miss Antoinette Baldwin, South Stanley Middle School. Judson Barbie, West Stanley Middle School. Danielle Boone, West Stanley Middle School. Jennifer Brown, Stanley STEM Early College. Sarah Calicut, South Stanley Middle School. Sadie Castles, North Stanley Middle School. Suzanne Clanton, West Stanley High School. Sarnia Irvin, who got this recognition from Albemarle High School, is now working at North Stanley High School. Michael Furr, who received this recognition at North Stanley High School, who is now at South Stanley Middle School. Jackie Hart, North Stanley Middle School. Robin Harward, South Stanley High School. Abby Hatley, North Stanley Middle School. Christina Hyatt, Stanley STEM Early College. Meredith Howell, South Stanley High School. Amanda Horanek, who received the recognition from Stanley STEM Early College, is now at Albemarle High School. Julie Honeycutt, West Stanley Middle School. Jamie Klinger, West Stanley High School. Tanya Lee, North Stanley High School. Caitlin Boyd, South Stanley High School. Katie Love, West Stanley High School. Casey Maynor, West Stanley Middle School. Lauren Malden, North Stanley High School. Jennifer Nargang, retired from West Stanley Middle School, but is back working with us again. James Patrick, North Stanley Middle School. Catherine Patterson, Albemarle Middle School. Stacy Salyers, Stanley Early College. Marina Schenkel, Stanley Early College. Serenity Smith, Stanley Early College. Wendy Smith, West Stanley High School. Taylor Smith, West Stanley Middle School. Jesse Thompson, South Stanley High School.
Thank you. More.
Jesse. Okay. Brandy Troutman, West Stanley Middle School. Jennifer Walker, West Stanley Middle School. Hannah Washburn, West Stanley Middle School. And Anita Whitley, Oakboro Choice STEM School.
She's retired.
Oh, yeah.
She's cruising this week, so you don't want your picture taken.
Thank you all. Now somehow organize yourselves into this single file line.
Like, you do your students, because you do it really well, get the short ones in the front and the taller ones in the back. It's the podium.
I'm gonna let you do it.
And anybody who's brave enough to step on that step, you can do that. You don't have to, because I don't want anybody to fall. So on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. One more. You got this, Sam.
I saw you from a mile away. You're retired. A little jealous.
Congratulations, babies. Got another one coming next Monday, C-section. Three in a row. And the time is
Board members, I know that was exciting for us to recognize so many of our outstanding educators in Stanley County Schools, and I know that all of you join me in congratulating them for all their outstanding accomplishments. At this time, could I please have a motion to enter into closed session for personnel matters, North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, A6. Student matters, North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, A1. Attorney-client matters, North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, A3. May I have a motion, please?
Motion, we go into closed session.
A motion by Ms. Whitaker, a second. Second by Ms. Watson. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. We are now in closed session. I would like to call the board back into open session at this time. Next is public comments, but we do not have anyone signed up tonight to speak. So we will move on to the consent agenda. May I have a motion? I know all of you have been able to look at the minutes from the February 3rd regular board meeting, the February 18th, 2026 legislative meeting, and the February 18th work session. Could I have a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Lisk. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. Thank you. And Dr. Dennis, I did want to point out, and I think probably all the board members will as well, I really appreciated the legislative brunch, and I appreciated how you put together everything with the legislative, our legislative agenda. Is that something that's going to be on our, or is it already on there?
I'll check it. We'll run those forms.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have the North Carolina School Board Association Legislative Committee application, and I'm going to read through this. The North Carolina School Board Association encourages your local school board to nominate one of its members to serve as an at-large member on the North Carolina School Board Association Legislative Committee. Individuals must be nominated by the end of March 2026 through a vote in open session during the school board meeting. The committee's primary tasks are to develop the survey that's distributed to every school board member statewide, and to then create the draft of the 2027-2028 North Carolina School Board Association legislative agenda, top priorities, for consideration and adoption by the delegate assembly at our November's annual conference. The committee is comprised of a subset of the North Carolina School Board Association Board of Directors and at-large applicants representing the 8 education districts. The at-large members are selected by the North Carolina School Board Association President. Remember, the North Carolina School Board Association legislative agenda is your legislative agenda, and this process provides an opportunity for the larger membership to become more directly involved. It's critical that your board's nominee attends the following 3 meetings. Monday, July the 20th, you will be in Raleigh. Monday, September 14th in Raleigh in person, and then Wednesday, October the 7th will be a virtual meeting. The deadline to submit the application is Friday. I know that I have served on this in the past. I know that Carla has served on this in the past. It was interesting for me to do that, but I'm going to open this up at this time for any nominations.
Madam Chair, I would like to nominate Board Member Vicki Watson, please.
Okay, Vicki Watson has been nominated.
Madam Chair, I would like to nominate Carla Poplin.
Okay, Carla Poplin has been nominated. Any other nominations? Okay.
Move to close nominations.
Okay. So closed. Well, I'm going to start with the first one that was nominated with Vicki. Anyone have anything that anyone would like to say about Vicki? Nominated.
Vicki has served for a long time on the Board of Education.
Let's see how many years.
Is this
We can't count, Ms. Watson?
I think I'm in my 60th or 70th year.
Okay,
And I would call it distinguished and prestigious, to use the words. Anyone that can serve that long to the county, it's honorable and deserves anything that we can do to help that member. And I think she's more than earned her way to this simple nomination.
Let me, before we go any further, who nominated Ms. Poplin? Megan, would you like to speak on Ms. Poplin?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ms. Poplin is already, she's already in Raleigh quite a bit. And so I know a lot of times with what you guys have already served on, she has the experience to know and to expect. So I think she would be a good one.
I think both of these are really outstanding board members that have been nominated. I'm going to go with the first one, with Ms. Watson. So we had a motion. Is there a second for Ms. Watson? Second. Any further discussion? I think we've had some things said, very nice things said. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to say, okay, aye. Vicki? Vote. Well, now you can do that. Okay. That is 4. Okay. For Ms. Poplin, we had a motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Sorensen. Any discussion further than what was said? All in favor say aye. See, Ms. Poplin voted for herself. Okay. I think both of you would serve as wonderful people. Ms. Watson, we're going to turn your name in. Ms. Miller, if you will do that. I know that there's a deadline on there. And Ms. Watson, I can say, Ms. Poplin has served on this before. I've served on it before. You meet lots of really interesting people. And I know that you, just like Ms. Poplin, you always attend everything that you possibly can, and that annual conference, just make it better for us so that we don't have to go in there and take forever with our voting.
Hopefully we have very concise things to vote on.
Yes, yes. And Ms. Watson, you have family too that sometimes you visit in Raleigh, don't you? Okay. Well, thank you all for those nominations, and next on the agenda, we have committee reports. The first one is our CIP, so I'm going to turn this over to you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The CIP Finance Committee met last Friday, February 27th, to review the bids for the Indy driveway that were due that Wednesday, February 25th. This is a driveway, as the board knows, mandated for the expansion of the school. There's a map attached in there that you've seen before, and along with the various bids. We did have a question on the bids. You can see that there's a wide range in the bids, and then one company had did not submit some documentation by the required date, and then another company had a different completion date listed on their, not application, but on the paperwork. The requested or the mandated required completion date was June the 30th. The company had listed July the 30th. So the committee felt it was prudent to reach out to legal to get some advice on that. The option would, at that point, would be to open it back up to allow these two companies to bring documentation back. The one that listed the July 30th date was actually the lowest bidder, NJR Group. When you look at alternate 2 and alternate 3, which is what is needed to be done. The next highest bidder was Anson at 776. NJR was 770. And then as you're looking at the bids, you'll see it was the bottom bidder, J. Taylor Incorporated, that had not provided the affidavit. So we were advised that, given the lowest bid, that even if the Taylor Company brought back the documentation, the affidavit, that being that the bid was very far off, that we should go ahead and take the lowest responsive bidder. And in this case, for the base bid, the alternate 2 and alternate 3, that total price comes out for the NJR contractors at $770,250. For Anson contractors came out at $776,281.50. Alternate 2 is roughly as I've written it down, is an undercut and a repave. And then alternate 3 is to put some riprap on the slope, so that downside slope on the northeastern side. And that was it. So it was a very brief meeting for this particular part. The lowest responsive bidder was NJR Contractors at $770,250, and that was the recommendation coming out of committee as a motion to the board to approve.
Coming out of your committee. Well, I'll go ahead and ask a second, and then I'm going to ask the question. So it's coming out of committee. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Ms. Whitaker. Are there some questions now? I have a question. The NJR, are they local?
They are. There were several, I guess, local contractors, but NJR is located in Stanley County.
And how, you might have already answered this, but even in your committee, how soon can they get started?
They'll start immediately, and they did provide back in writing after we spoke to the attorney, or after Mr. Benton spoke to the attorney. They did provide in writing that they would complete the job on or before June the 30th, which aligns with all the other bidders.
How's that going to work out with doing this? Is there going to be most of that kind of happening once school is out and we're still continuing the drive the way it is up in there now, going up through maintenance and everything?
Well, they'll start the grading of the place that nothing exists right now, coming up that hill up there. So they'll start those improvements to be the first thing to improve. The last thing to do is tie everything.
And just in case anyone is thinking or asks, alternate 1 was just a seal coat and striping of the existing lot in front of the building. This is sort of the first on the right is how I wrote it down. But that would not need to be done by doing alternate 2 and 3.
Any other questions?
I want to make a comment. It seems to me we're building things on shifting sand here. When we went to the commissioners for the money for the Indy expansion, it was an oversight that we forgot to do this. Is that not correct? And then there was talk of maximum of $500,000.
I think it was told that we would not necessarily need to do it, and then we were going to consult with DOT. This is a lot of money to put in a driveway, a lot of money to put in.
What I remember was less than $500,000.
Right.
And I'm seeing the low bid at $770,000, which, to me, that I don't know, that difference in money is alarming.
Well, and we haven't gotten to the second part of this, but we were also told that we weren't going to need to redo that either. So, is there not any other alternative option into checking with DOT if they're the ones wanting us to get traffic off the road and get traffic better flowing into the school? Some way that we can work with them and get on a project list to get some kind of help with this amount of money.
Keith, you want to address the conversations you've had with DOT surrounding this, please?
Sorry to put you on the spot, Mr. Benton. And I know this came after, this conversation started prior to you
Okay,
being employed by us. I do know that, so.
you're good. If you repeat the question for me, I couldn't hear back there, I'm sorry.
It's a big ticket item.
Yes, ma'am, very.
And my understanding is that DOT is the one wanting cars and things off of the highway. Is that correct?
They have put pressure on us to remove the vehicles from backing up on 2427.
So I guess an easy way of restating my question is, can we put pressure on them to pay for the pressure for this parking lot basically we are installing in the back? I mean, it's going to be like a Cartwrighter parking lot, basically.
Yeah, so we can, the issue with that is getting on their budget. And their budget's going to be 5 years down the road, more than likely. So that would be the earliest we would have the opportunity to get any funding for them. I feel very confident you're not going to get 100% of funding for them, for this job. They might help you in portions of it, but a lot of it's done on private area. And in my dealings with DOT, I've never had them to really institute any improvements on private property. I know previously we had some improvements at Richfield that they did, but to my knowledge, that's the first time I've ever known DOT to do anything on private.
'Cause I spoke with some legislators, and their comment was possibly talk to DOT. If they're the ones forcing the issue, then we need to ask them to help pay for it. I mean, we're looking at close to $1 million between this and the other, or possibly more than that. And I mean, for $1 million, I might be willing to wait a little bit of time.
One of just to answer to your alternate 3 up there, alternate 2, that is a 2-foot undercut of the existing parking lot that's in front. That's your staff parking lot. We hired a third-party geotechnical firm to come in. They bored the asphalt layers, and by their determination of what you have existing there now is not sufficient enough to last you long-term. So by their recommendation is reclamation of that parking lot and undercutting it 2 foot. If you seal coat it, you're going to be in that parking lot digging it up very soon.
And how does that relate to the buses for you?
The buses actually utilize the other parking lot that comes around the office side. That will be a future down the road project you're going to have to endure.
But for right now, those buses will stay where they are.
Correct.
Any other questions or any other comments? Well, we've had a, coming out of committee, and we've had a second. Feel like we've had quite a bit of comments and discussion. They've been good. Chief, is there anything else that you can add about this for us, or about this company, NJR?
I personally have never worked with NJR, but some of the reference work that they've done some pretty significant jobs. I feel confident they can do the work. Every one of the vendors that are on there, they're more than capable of doing it. So I have no concerns with NJR.
Madam Chair, just due to the lack of trying to get on the DOT budget and trying to have those talks with them, for the sake of spending $1 million of taxpayer money, I'm going to be a no on this.
It's
Well,
Mr.
I
Ben.
know that this is, you want a question?
Mr. Ben.
Yes, ma'am.
In your opinion, is it something that we can wait on, or do you feel like it's something that, I understand the traffic, I know that's an issue. I think that's gotten better. It's not perfect by any means. But in your opinion, I know if we would go back to DOT, and I know I've seen where there's a long wait list there. And if you're talking 5 years down the road before we would be able to get any help or support from them, is that a wait that you feel like we have the ability to do?
Well, I will tell you from a convenience standpoint and for a circulation standpoint from my office shuts down in the mornings till 8 o'clock because of vehicles and allowing them to come through like they are, the pattern they are. And then about 1:30 every single day, my office is shut down. So for my people getting in and out to do work, it's very tough.
And I know that from experience. Will we not have even more traffic? Aren't we going to have more students probably at Indy next year, this coming year?
Yeah, you have
Yes.
a grandfathered in age group that's going to come up, and they're going to increase capacity naturally because they had the option of coming back, but your capacity will increase, your number of students will
So
increase.
you're
in the
going to
coming years.
increase some of the flow, I would think, out there on the, trying to get the vehicles off the highway. And again, trying to get your people where they can have access in and out at all during the day.
Right.
I understand everybody's comments, but if there's no further, we've had this coming out of committee, and I've had a second, we've had discussion. All in favor of going with Index Trail Contractors for the Indy driveway to be completed in the 30th, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
I may have to see that, with hands. No. All right, let me do, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. All in favor, no? No. Abstain. This counts as a yes. Okay, so this has passed. I appreciate it.
Mr. Benton, don't run away.
I appreciate the work, Mr. Britton, I appreciate the work,
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Madam Chair, I still have one more, so don't go far.
I'm right here.
Thank you.
Now you're going to,
Yeah, so the second part of the meeting was on the septic system. Obviously, we know that sewer, county sewer is not ran there. The tank is very old. It has to be custom built and brought in, and there's, I guess, not any local companies that can do that. However, the normal process was bid out. You see the 5 bids that came in, and there was a really low bidder. I believe they were out of Wilson, if I remember correctly. There isn't an end date noted on this one. They can do this project while the kids are in school. But I believe Mr. Benton or the company felt like 45 days was sufficient to complete the project once they start, and they can start immediately. And this system would be installed near the maintenance building. So it's a built-to-order, but the motion coming out of the committee was to approve a recommendation to the board to take the lowest responsive bidder, and in this case, that's Creech's Plumbing and Septic for $487,491 and 32 cents.
I'll second for discussion purposes.
okay, and now any discussion?
Madam Chair. Mr. Benton, again, sorry, this project started prior to your coming here. But it was my understanding when we added the addition on there that the only thing we would need to do to suffice the sewer and water systems there was change out to low flow. So what has happened since that versus this? Because again, we're looking at another big ticket item here.
Yes, so during the early phase of the construction, we had to stop construction of the job to honor some requests met from Stanley County of putting low flow fixtures in and doing a lot of drain field work. We completed all that work, and in preliminary numbers, the actual pre-treatment end, not your post-treatment, your final, was getting overloaded pretty heavy with the number of kids, the number of extracurricular activities at school, and the number of staff. So a system's designed off of bodies that are able to be in the building, and the calculations for it, 12.5 gallons per kid and staff member. So we are exceeding those numbers. This is to remediate that to where you can lower the usage because of the treatment process and get you to your drain field and turn out a better product, better, cleaner wastewater. Pretty much.
So is it safe to say that the information that we were given in the beginning was not accurate?
Some of it was not.
Okay,
There was a lot to, some of it was not.
okay. Because it's a little surprising to be on the other end of it now and having to have all this come up when we thought, you know, we knew what to expect with the addition, and it seems like there's a lot of big ticket items being attached to that now.
Yeah, and so, you know, we started the Indy construction project, and due to some of this not being taken care of, it was put to a halt.
Mr. Benton, how old is the current septic system that's there? Do you know?
I'm sorry, I can't give you that direct answer. I did look at a set of plans that were 30-plus years old. The existing sand filter is your original sand filter of the building.
Right.
So,
That was the playground area.
I really do feel like, and I want to give a shout out to the vet teams and others that, you know, that have utilized and played ball there. I think they have been extremely conscious of things. They've done very well. And that hands out to their coaches and parents and students, everyone alike, to make this work, to make it work for this year. And again, next year, we're going to have even more students.
correct.
I have a comment. I mean, you know, before I was even on the board, as a parent, just watching all this play out, I hope this board and the CIP committee, moving forward with future projects, has learned a lesson to look at the whole picture and to make sure that all of this is included. Because, I mean, we're looking at almost $1.3 million.
And I think, in answer,
Well, I'm not quite done, but, I mean, that's $1.3 million that should have been included in that ticket price on what it was going to be to add an addition on to the school. And that was what was sold to our commissioners as well. And so hopefully moving forward, we've learned a lesson and we can actually make sure that things like this is thought through before moving forward with an addition.
and I agree with that, because, again, I think we keep coming back to Mr. Benton walked in to things that were already in place, and they were already in place. And we have to do what we have to do. And have we learned? Yes, because I've heard Mr. Benton many times say, one of the first things he's going to do is your drive.
The very first thing you do is a traffic analysis.
Okay? So I know I've learned a lot, and I appreciate learning that from you.
Ms. Gibson,
Yes.
to that note, I just want to say, none of us come on this board as contractors or builders or driveway engineers. We have to take the advice we're given. And in my comment earlier, I think we were given a little bit of misdirected advice maybe in the beginning of this project. And so we have to go off of the best information that we have. And so that's why this is a little surprising for these things to continue to come up when we thought we had a project solidified. And so just leaving that comment there.
Your septic will look totally different now. You're not going to be treating rainwater no more. It's all encapsulated. So this is a whole different approach.
This may be a question for Mr. Dudley. Where are we in our capital expense fund right now? If we drop $1.2 million on this project, on these two projects?
course, we're at $3.6 million in fund balance as of the end of June 30, 2025. We've already had to move $300,000 from fund balance into capital outlay. So you're roughly at around $3.3 million in capital outlay fund balance currently.
That was my question, thank you. One more comment. I'm not going to get over your comment about the product app. Sorry, man, I cannot not see.
Well, I believe that we have had this coming out of committee. We've had a second. We certainly have spoken about Creech's Plumbing, and they are out of Wilson.
Correct, they're out of Wilson, North Carolina. There's no local vendors there. Your closest one is Stevens Septic Services, they're out of Union County. The rest of them are from Wilson and out east.
And they are going to be able to get started.
They'll have a green light to go. Now, some of the products have to be ordered and built and everything else, so they won't start until they have shipment confirmed that the products are headed this way.
I guess I'm asking when school is ready to open up next year.
We should be done. We can also install every bit of this and work simultaneously with school running with no disruptions. That's the plan.
Mr. Ben, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked about the other. Is this something that we can wait on?
No, ma'am.
I feel like it's something that we have to do.
I would highly recommend you do it very soon and have it in place.
May I ask another question? They're out of Wilson.
Yes, sir.
They have any experience at all working with the geological realities out here with the huge rocks and red clay?
These guys, every one of these vendors they have to turn in a kind of like an RFP for the engineer to be able to install this type of equipment.
They've studied the dirt.
They've studied it.
Okay, if there are no further discussions from anyone, all in favor of using Creech's Plumbing and Septic Contractors out of Wilson, say aye. Opposed, no. Okay, then the Creech's Plumbing and Septic Contractors have been approved for the Indy Elementary Sewer. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
And I thank you, the CIP committee, for working on that. Okay, next, we have another committee. We have policy, Ms. Poplin.
Thank you. We met on February the 18th to discuss policy 2302 and 2310. Just for a refresher for the folks out there, 2302 is remote participation in board meetings. That is remote participation for board members. And then policy 2310 is public participation at board meetings. 2302 is coming out of committee for approval on first read with changes to leave all the ones under CI, leave all items in there, A through I as recommended by School Board Association. There was a little bit of opposition to that, but that did pass coming out of committee. So that one's for approval on first read. And then 2310 is public participation in board meetings, and that is coming out of committee with a change from the 3-minute to 4-minute and not to exceed 20-minute. And that is also for approval on first read. They can be done together.
So we're going to do these together. Okay, they're coming out of committee for first read. So I only need a motion to move forward. A second.
Just a second.
Second.
And I have a second from Ms. Whitaker. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I just would like to make some comments if I can. Last calendar year, in 2025, we had 32 board meetings. On 28 different days, I participated personally in 11 committee meetings on 8 different days. So that's 43 meetings on 36 different days. Work sessions can typically take a half day, upwards of a full work day. Committees sometimes, may last an hour, as in the Capital Improvement Committee last Friday, but they could also take several hours. And you must get through the agenda. And typically to schedule any of these work sessions outside of the 12 regular scheduled meetings that are the first Tuesday of every month, everything else is working around multiple board member schedules, multiple director schedules, the superintendent schedules. So that's difficult. That's 43 meetings I personally participated in, 32 that this full board participated in. That's over a 3-meeting average per month. So it's not just the one regular meeting per month that is required, I believe, under general statute. The remote policy, current policy already provides for 3 remote meetings, I believe. We're really discussing here the circumstances of which someone could possibly participate remotely. And we're, I see taking, or at least come out of committee to take the recommendation of the School Board Association, which I understand our surrounding counties have adopted as well. But to go back to my prior comments on the meeting time, I have a full-time job, obviously. I was elected in 22 to serve this term, was appointed for a year prior to that. And I do coach, and I do have a family with 2 kids in school, and I work in Charlotte. So we've really been arguing, debating, I guess is a better word for this, for 8 months about less than 7% of our time spent at these meetings on 2 or 3 or 4 reasons why we can commit. And I know some board members had commentary around whether we should or should not participate remotely. However, I'm glad to see a step forward. I don't agree in totality with all of this policy, and I've expressed that with some of the policy committee. It's a step forward. However, the average working man and woman in this county could never serve an elected office on this school board. There's no way that you could possibly, I guess I shouldn't say no way. It's much more challenging for our electorate to serve here without modernizing these policies to allow some participation. Now, appeals, regular meetings, yes. However, committee meetings that last an hour, work sessions where the full board's there, you may or may not be taking a vote on anything. There needs to be some flexibility to allow the public the opportunity. Otherwise, and no condemnation to my colleagues here, you do end up with stay-at-home parents or retirees, which we do have and are very honorable to have some retired teachers and educators in this room. However, I often hear that people should serve on this board that have children in the system. However, if you work a 9 to 5, that's going to be extremely challenging. You would miss quite a bit of meetings on that. So I'm glad to see the board finally taking a step forward. Again, I would like to see this policy go even forward to give other people in this county an opportunity to serve. My second thing is on the speaking time limit. I'm certainly for both of these policies. I would never be for a policy that restricts to public. However, I did want to note a couple of different things. I went back and counted our speakers in the year 2025 again. We had, and speakers come to the regularly scheduled meetings, and there were 11 of those. We had 20 speakers in total. We allow 15 minutes already in existing policy. I think it's 3 minutes per speaker, so that's upwards of 5 speakers. The existing policy allows the board to extend that time for any speaker. So the board can vote just like they do on a policy to give a speaker any time that they want. However, we have less than a 2-speaker average per meeting, and in 2 of those meetings, no one showed up to speak. And out of the 20 speakers, 9 of them were the same people, the same 3 people to speak. So what it tells me is that we don't have an issue in this county over the allotted time to speak. The existing policy allows plenty of time for these, anyone in the public to speak, and also allows for the board to provide that time. So whether it's 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes, why not 30 minutes? You know? How do we arbitrarily come up with 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 5 minutes? However, I'm glad to see that the policy committee is taking steps forward to provide more opportunities, and I would like to see more people speak, more people to show up. You can see there's very few in attendance here.
This is after an hour of closed session.
That's all. Thank you.
To Mr. Wilson's comment, the School Board Association recommendation on 2310 is actually 30 minutes, not 20 minutes, so we didn't go with the max on that. We went kind of in between on that. And just to give another 60 seconds per speaker so that they have some time to get themselves together and get their point across. And then for 2302, really the only opposition, I guess I will say, was myself, and the only bullet point under that was just a conflict, any old conflict. That was the one that I had issue with. You can have any conflict you wanted to be out of a meeting, but you know, this is an elected position. You don't have to run for it if you can't do the meetings. I understand what you're saying as far as it is.
You don't know the meetings, you don't know the 43. When you're elected, you only know the 12 regularly scheduled meetings. So you don't know the other, majority of your time, you have no idea when you choose to run for office.
Yeah, you have to figure there's going to be a little more included in there.
You got to be retired, and you got to have flexibility in your job, but the average working man and woman they don't have that flexibility.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Poplin. I mean, I want to say that I appreciate the policy committee working.
So Mr. Lewis can talk as long as he wants, and I just get cut off.
Well, I didn't know you, I thought you were finished. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to continue my comment. The comment was, it's an elected position. I feel like you've been duly elected. You should serve in that position. And if it's something that you can't do, then, you know, I understand. It's a commitment. It's a commitment that you make. We are public servants, and we're here to do those jobs. And you're right, there are some things that come up, work sessions and things like that make it very difficult. Most of us up here that are not retired do have full-time jobs. Megan, myself, Mr. Risk, we all have full-time jobs and families at home. And it is a commitment, but it's a commitment that I'm dedicated to making those times, and I do the best that I can to get to those. So I am too also glad that these policies are now being put up for an actual vote. We've been trying to get a vote on these for 8 months. And if you wanted to extend board member public comment time, there is a chance to vote for that, and you guys voted no to that. So I want that to be said, because it's interesting that your opinion on that must have changed at some point in time.
Have your opinions changed on anything?
Yes, I'm just saying.
It's normal for board members to hear advice, hear counsel, debate things. Okay. Well, you said it in a way that it was, I think you mentioned Mr. Sorensen backtracked in our meeting work session. So it is very common for board members to debate things, to debate ideas, as you should, and to come to an agreement and a compromise without shaming each other.
No one is shaming anybody. I just said that you made a comment just a second ago that the board could extend time for those speaking if they chose to, and that came up earlier, and you guys chose not to. So some of us wanted to extend the time in the policy so that we didn't have to have the 2/3 vote to extend time.
Understood.
Thank you. Ms. Poplin, are you finished now?
Yes.
Okay.
These two are up for first reading.
And I do appreciate the policy committee working together on these policies, and they are coming out to us tonight, first read, and we're voting on them together. So.
Madam Chair, I have a comment.
Yes.
Everybody's like, oh my God, what's he going to say today? Easy, buddy, it's all good. I just want to explain my position and why it's been on both different policies. When you mess with people's kids, you're messing with their hearts. And when we do appeals, and people come in here and they're sitting there crying because their kid's going to be traumatized and ripped out of a school they've been here 4 years, I expect you to be there. I expect everybody to be there. We sit up on this dais like we're better than people. If this thing was representative, we'd be down below because we're supposed to serve the public. So as far as the meetings, I won't go into details, but for me, it's just about impossible to phone in and do so effectively. Without forcing the county to spend money, which I refuse to do, it's just about impossible. So I just want to make that point. So I totally get this. I've got 3 grandkids in 2 different places, so I get the whole thing. And I don't work full-time job, so I get that. On the speaker policy, when we have a conversation that this is how everybody does it, my goal, my expectation has always been we need to do better. And 3 minutes is really, it's pulled from the school board policy, and it's also pulled from some statutes, mentions that. It doesn't specify that. Once again, we're cutting people off. And we've been having our policy where we can extend time. I don't remember us ever extending time. Since my original time on the board, when we had the COVID issues, you better know we had 5 signing up. We had 5 signing up and 150 hiding outside with posters and wanting to protest. It's not fun to be set up here and cussed at and yelled at and called. That's the job. If we're not listening to the public, I don't know why we're here. So, I mean, I totally get you, Dusty. You work full-time, drive 2 hours a day? At least, yeah. So I get that, but I think for certain situations, either we need to be here. That's my whole point. Now, I'm not trying to keep feeding the fight here. I've got a striped shirt and whistle out the car if you want me to go get it. It would be good.
No, thank you, Mr. Schwartz, and I don't think, I appreciate your comments. I think it was just need to be known to the public, because that excludes, like, I know a couple of members read today to students at the school. Board members do a lot of different things inside the schools. I'm reading 2 days this week. We have monthly school visits where we try to pick a part of the county and visit those schools, facility site visits with Mr. Benton. So it's very encompassing, and just for the public to understand, because I would love to see more people step up and run for office, more people engage here, that it is very challenging to do that. So when we talk about remote policy, I'd love to see it even more flexible than it is. Mr. Sorensen's from the old school, but we do have Google Meets that is very easy, and you can see and hear very well. So there is virtual attendance that is very possible and convenient. And
to that effect, it is like taking on a second job. I mean, I consider it a second job. It's not just something you do in your spare time or extra time. It is a second job.
Thank you for your comments. And Mr. Lisk, if you get to read this week and you need a Lorax costume, I have something for you that would fit on your head there. But anyway, okay, these are coming out of committee. We are voting on them together. I've had a second. So therefore, any more discussion? All in favor of approving policy 2302 and 2310, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. These policies have passed.
Thank you.
Thank you to your committee. Next on the agenda, we have, I'm going to call on you, Mr. Dubney, Auxiliary Services.
Okay, as I bring to you tonight, the audit contract for the 25-26 school year. It's that time of year again. I feel like I just got them off my case last month, but they're already sent me the agenda to come in April. So the contract, of course, has to be signed and approved by
State Treasury Department. So as I bring to you tonight, there is a slight increase of $1,000 over what last year was, but it's due to a new financial reporting model that they have to do. So our audit report will actually look a little different at the end of this year when they present November or December of 2026 for that purpose. So there's they call it the Governmental Auditing Standards Board's 103 is where that comes in at. So so if there's any other questions,
Will you tell me again how much increase this is?
it's $1,000.
$1,000. Okay. And I don't know if you are going to speak to this yet, but I love that they have given us the whole audit and scope and their objectives of what is a part of this audit.
Yes, the management letter. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I read through that very clearly, carefully, and I'm really glad that you included that
Okay.
for us. So, I know that all of you have had a chance to look at the contract. Again, it's coming with Anderson, Smith, and Wyke. We've used them quite often. So is there a motion to approve the auditing contract with them? A motion by Mr. Sorensen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lisk. Is there any questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The auditing contract with Anderson, Smith, and Wyke has been approved.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Dumas, we have our personnel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Of the personnel agenda, for your consideration, I would need action. Section 1 is for your information, but I will need action on Section 2.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve Section 2 of the personnel agenda as presented?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Ms. Whitaker, a second. Second by Ms. Watson. All in, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Section 2 of the personnel agenda has been approved. I had asked for the meeting to be amended so that we have a Section K now, which is a discussion of a joint meeting with our commissioners and our board. I know that I sent out to you, and I think I sent out to you just today. You need to look, if you haven't already, because something was sent out just today, and I can pull this up for you. And I'm going to read this. Dr. Dennis, this was sent from Andy Lucas. Good morning. Our board discussed the request to meet on March the 17th during their work session yesterday. The commissioners absolutely want to meet and discuss the school system's short and long-range operational and capital needs, but the commissioners feel this discussion requires pre-planning and facilitation. The county commissioners kindly request the Board of Education reconsider the request to use Central Ina for advanced planning and meeting facilitation services. The County Board of Commissioners will cover the cost of these services. I have attached the scope of services again, so you can share it with your board. The county looks forward to hearing back from the Board of Education. The sooner we engage Central Ina and they begin pre-planning, the sooner we can hold the initial joint meeting. And you were able to see the scope of all that goes on there. Going to open this up for any discussion that anyone might have.
Madam Chair, where are we at on the, and maybe you answer that, for the March 17th request date? Have we heard back?
We have not. What I'm reading right here is our board discussed the request. Now, remember, in our work session was February the 18th. On February 18th, we made a full recommendation to our county commissioners for the funding of a replacement school for Oakboro and an addition to West Stanley Middle. None of that was any different. We had Ashley there, as all of you know. Ashley was there to answer any questions for us. That is, and when I look at what has been sent, there's one thing that stands out to me, which is that the commissioners absolutely want to meet and discuss the school system short and long term. Well, that is a short term. I mean, that's short term that we've been working on for a long time now. I mean, a long time. We can go way back, several years. But we have done our work, and we have 2 studies that both indicate that these are high priority needs. That hasn't gone away. I remember when we met with our commissioners before that we stated to them if we did not get the needs-based grant, we would be coming back to you. So I look at this as twofold. One, the commissioners want a short term and they want a long term. Well, when we look at long-term, to me, we're looking at getting into a phase 2 study of our high schools and even beyond. But our short-term has already been determined, our short-term goals. When I got on this board in 2015, I ran on the fact, and people asked me, will you please put into place in Stanley County, like other counties, will you have a 1-year, a 3-year, a 5-year, a 10-year, a 15-year, a 20-year plan? And we've done that. I feel like that we were able to get an addition at Indy. We have gone through application after application with a needs-based grant. So the short-term planning has been done. I feel like that in the first step with our commissioners, what they're asking, we can show them our short-term again. Ashley Mosley will be there. We'll go over everything. And we do need a facilitator. I think probably everybody up here on this board would probably agree. And I've had conversation. I see Chairman Scott Efer sitting out there. I have had some conversation with him that they also are in agreement that we need a facilitator. But we can get this done with a facilitator. We have all the information that you need, every bit of the information that you need. And we can get this scheduled. And I think we're just waiting to see if we're going to be able, many of you, we've got it marked on our calendars. And you put it on your calendars. Many of you work. I had to rearrange things to have this on the March 17th calendar. So I would like to see what maybe can come out of this, since we have our short-range goals already.
Well, I believe, Madam Chair, we've done 2 demographic studies, and it may have been the last one that was completed. I believe we met with the Commissioner Board, and the demographer gave them the presentation. That's originally how
We did.
you sort of come about. And then, of course, we saw all the crowding on the western end. Phase 1 took a look at that western end where we were overcrowded significantly at that point and had failing buildings, and also presented, I believe it was last fall, maybe, in a joint meeting to the Commissioner Board. This was prior to the grant application, so that was the highest need. So and we've been asked to do these studies, and so we've completed it. Phase 2, I think, looks, at the high school level, which has some significant needs. We've got the roofing audit coming in that determined $3 million a year, I believe, is what was presented to the board over the next 5 years. We've received $4 million in capital outlay last year. So there's some immediate roof needs. And then, of course, the long-run average out of the roofing audit was 1.6. But I feel like that facilitator is good, a joint meeting is good. The long range, I think, looking at phase 2 and combining everything at that point is a great job. Maybe that's late summer, I think I saw on this email or this contract. But that doesn't change the fact that our short-term immediate need is an addition at West Stanley Middle School and is the Oakboro facility. That has not changed. That has come from the experts and has been determined by the study. So I'm confused on why we can't have a joint meeting to just further discuss that, what was in the grant application and our motion, while at the same time scheduling something longer term when, Central Carolina finishes their prep work and we've received some phase 2 data back, and that way the roofing audit and the phase 2 could be presented to the commissioner board.
And it seems like that goes into your long range. And again, I'm looking at what was sent out. Your long-term operational and capital needs, everything that you said there falls into that. And in that scope of what has been presented, then that is a scope that Central Carolina could start working with. But I believe that this board, now, it looks like to me, we have the short term, we have everything that our commissioners need, short range. And I know we have that. We presented that before. Nothing has changed from that. And we just need to move forward, and we need to move forward with that March the 17th date to have a joint meeting with our commissioners just for that purpose. This is not talking phase 2. This is only talking about the immediate needs that brought back to us, which was Oakboro, a replacement school for Oakboro, and the addition to West Stanley Middle. What the commissioners will decide to do is up to the commissioners. I think we do our work and we've done our work. It will be up to having discussion, and we need a facilitator, and then it is up to the commissioners. That facilitator is needed. So any other discussion from board members?
I do agree that we need a facilitator. I think in the past, when we've had our joint meetings, that it's real easy for us to get off track. We end up talking about things that we really didn't schedule the meeting to talk about. And at the end, when the meeting's over, I don't feel like we've accomplished anything. So I do like the idea of a facilitator. I'm in agreement that we just need the initial meeting with them to talk about what we did not get the funding for in the grant. And I know even last year when we met with them and I was chairing the board, I even said, if we do not get this funding, we will be back in front of you asking for you to somehow figure out how to fund these projects, because that's our immediate need. So, but like I say, I do like the idea of a facilitator being there. I think that, the contract that you provided that came from them is probably more in depth of something that we need for the initial meeting with them when we just talk about those grant projects that weren't funded. But like I say, I do like the idea of us having a facilitator.
And I appreciate you
any
being
of our meetings with them.
And I appreciate Chairman Eford being here.
We do.
And hearing, we really do appreciate you being here and hearing our comment, because, again, I looked at this contract, and I know we all have, but the parts of that contract deal with that long range, and when we're getting into that long range and operational goals, then we're getting into our phase 2 that we're moving into, but we have short-range goals for you now. We have them for you now. You know what they are, and we have, again, been waiting on a comment since February the 18th, when this was brought out of our committee, and we knew our capital improvement and finance committee had worked hard, and they were going to bring this out of committee to move forward. And Mr. Eford, I know I can look at you and say, you know, it is up to the commissioners. You know, do you fund a replacement school for Oakboro? Do you fund a West Stanley Middle School addition? But I hope you get the sense here that the growth is there, the need is there in that building, it's not going away. The demographer has told us that. We have all the studies that you need, so everything that you need, short range, we have. We have.
I have something to say. I've been waiting for a little bit. I'm actually going to address the elephant in the room. For the people in the audience and watching online, we had a work session a couple of weeks ago, and we had the architect come in and present phase 2 in the amount of $75,000, which was approved. And let us remember that we applied for a grant back in the fall, end of summer, or beginning of fall, that we did not get. And if I'm not mistaken, we never let the commissioners know that we didn't get the grant. Maybe we did, but I don't think we did. And so here we are, we're not done with phase 1. We've spent over $100,000 with phase 1. Have nothing to show for it except some paper. And I believe our commissioners understand the fact that we did not get the grant and that we still have a need. And I also believe they sent out an email before the work session, which was February 9th or February 10th? It was the 10th. That we did not, as a board, receive. So going into this work session, as a board member, I feel a little bit duped, especially talking about a meeting for March 17th, without knowing that this email was sent. If I would have known that the commissioners were requesting a meeting with us, I would have never said March 17th, because there's no way that they can get the contracting company to do the facilitation in time for March 17th. So with that said, I acknowledge that we have these needs. We have extreme needs, but we cannot eat the whole cake in one bite. And what we're asking for is not possible. There is no way that we can ask for $64 million, $84 million from the commissioners and expect that they're going to be able to give that to us. I said it in the work session, and I'm saying it now. And if we would have known about that email, I would not have supported the March 17th meeting. Any emails that our county manager or our county commissioners send the board needs to get to the whole board.
Madam Chair, I'd like to speak on that, please. To follow up with Ms. Almond's comment, that email I public records requested on February the 19th. That is the only way that we got it. Mr. Lucas then forwarded that along to me. You received that February 10th at 11:45 in the morning and chose not to act on it and not to send it out, and then had a meeting and then scheduled a meeting. And yes, 100%, some of the board members on this board were duped into a meeting fictitiously knowing that some of you knew, or maybe maybe all of you, I don't know, who knew or who didn't know. And we had a conversation about it, and now it's interesting that we're having this conversation in public now, but we couldn't have this conversation in public on February 18th. It's frustrating, and I too agree with Ms. Almond's comment. If communication comes from the commissioners or the county manager, and I would just ask Mr. Effords here, could you please just send that to all of us, because we're not getting communication as we should be.
I would like, personally, as a board member, to move forward with honoring the request that our county commissioners have asked us to do and going with this facilitated company to at least talk to them about what they can do and what our needs are, and not have this expectation that we're entitled to all the money that they have in a pot. Because that's what I feel like, is that this board thinks that we are entitled to whatever amount of money that we ask for. When they have a budget themselves that they have to abide by, they have so much money that they can give our board, we need to communicate, and we need to be more transparent about our needs, and then communicate effectively with what they can actually do instead of expecting.
Now, Ms. Autumn, when I had a phone call from you, and you wanted me to call Chairman Eford, you called 5 board members that said they would write a check that day immediately.
I actually have this recorded.
Okay. And so they will write a check for West Stanley Middle School today.
I said that they are ready to write a check. They are ready to help us out. And in fact, I believe we said that 5 or 6 times, and it was regarding the West Stanley Middle School project. It was not Oakboro Elementary School for a brand-new school. I said multiple times that they were ready to start working with us and start moving this project forward. And it is recorded, and if anybody wants to hear it, I'll be more than happy to let them hear it.
Well, in my opinion, the February 10th email proves that they were ready to move forward and begin working with us. That was the olive branch that was extended, that was not extended to the rest of this board to even have knowledge of.
So can I go back to what Ms. Almond was saying? So I know that they had a meeting. I don't know if you attended their meeting or not, but. We were all invited. So, no, I never got that invitation. So you had 5 commissioners say to you personally?
I never said I had 5 commissioners. I never said I had 5 commissioners. You were putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm asking because that's what I thought.
I never said
Okay.
5 commissioners. We have it recorded. We can play it for you.
But you had a conversation with some commissioners, I guess, that led you to
Yes,
believe?
so after, and I'll be more than happy to tell you which commissioners because I have their permission. After the commissioners had their work session, Mr. King, Ms. Crump, and Mike Barbie, they were excited. And I even told Ms. Gibson this. They were very excited that their entire board was able to come together and actually agree on the needs of our school system meeting West Stanley Middle School. And I believe Ridgecrest was actually thrown out as well, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but every single one of them were excited. They were like, we need to get our boards together. We need to start talking about this because we acknowledge that you have needs. We're ready to start this now. Like, let's get this going. Talk to the board. Because this board is known for not communicating effectively to our everybody sees it. And so I don't know where the miscommunication is, but that is what transpired. There was an email that was sent that was also ready to start working with us. I don't know where the gap is.
And to add to that list, Mr. Hatley's name can be added to that because he's, in addition, I spoke with him.
Who were
I'd like
wait a
to-
minute, who were the 5 commissioners again?
Nobody has said 5. I'm not sure where you're getting 5.
Sounds like there's 4.
there were four that spoke between, I guess myself and Ms. Almond. I don't know if other board members talked to other commissioners independently, but
These four said that they would write a check, cut a check immediately for.
no, they said they had the ability to write a check for the West Stanley Middle project, yes. And that there was appetite for that, and Ridgecrest was also mentioned in that, some type of renovation to Ridgecrest. Those were the two items that were brought up at their budget meeting. It was discussions that were had because there was some excitement, again, around the fact that they had come to some sort of consensus in their meeting. I was not present for their meeting, so I cannot tell you the exact wording that was used, because these are conversations that were just had in passing or conversation on the phone. But they were excited that they were ready to move forward, and they said, we want to have a meeting. What prompted my request of the meeting is after I spoke at our work session, I specifically asked Ms. Gibson in that work session multiple times, had there been conversations with commissioners, because I had had these conversations with said commissioners about a meeting, and she said there had been no conversation. However, now it is known that there had been conversation. There was a February 10th email that was hidden, omitted, chose not to be spoke about. I'm not sure which. All sorts of things are being spun around. But that communication was not given to the rest of this board.
And again, I had no conversation with commissioners. Period.
Madam Chair,
I do have that meeting recorded.
information here. North Carolina school boards are not tax levying authorities, and per North Carolina General Statute 115C 408B, North Carolina counties are, and I'm paraphrasing here, charged with building, equipping, and maintaining school facilities, and that is met by the county government. So they are, in other words, 100% responsible to fund school maintenance, building and equipping. This is not a state responsibility. It's great that we have grants to apply for. But as a point of information, general statute stipulates who has the tax levying authority to fund those buildings.
Okay, anything else? Ms. Almond, did you have something on the board, did you make a motion? Okay.
It was just a discussion.
Okay, just discussion. Is there any other discussion? Is there anything else?
I'd just like to say again that I'm not against this agreement. Do I think this is something we probably need to do in the future? Probably so. But I don't think we need all the details and the extent that this contract goes into to just sit down and have a conversation with them about things that we have already talked with them numerous times, as far as what we ask for in our grants. They know what we need. They know what we've asked for. They know what our priorities are. To me, scheduling that March 17th meeting was just basically to sit down and go over those things with them again. It's our responsibility to ask. It doesn't mean that we're saying we want your whole pot of money, but it's our responsibility as board members to ask. We're supposed to identify the needs of our school system, and it's the commissioner's responsibility to figure out how to fund those, not our responsibility. It's not for us to sit back and say, well, we're not going to ask for that because they don't have the money to pay for it. Good gracious, you never asked for anything at Christmas knowing that your parents probably couldn't afford it, but you asked for it anyway. You have to ask, and then it's their decision to say whether they can fund it or not. Once again, I'm not against the contract that they sent, although this is not a contract between us, it's a contract between them and this company. It doesn't have a place on here for a signature from anyone on our board or Dr. Dennis or anyone else. Do we need a facilitator when I think we should have this meeting on the 17th? Yes, I believe we do need a facilitator. I think anytime we meet with the commissioners, we need a facilitator so that we can cover all the points. When we leave the meeting, we feel like we've accomplished something. And I'm sure Chairman Eford feels the same way I do. When you walk out of there, you don't really feel like you've accomplished anything other than we have all these board members who are talking. So, with that said,
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, to, when you respond back to County Manager Lucas, or if Dr. Dennis does, or however the communication is working, that the school board or the school system can be a party to that contract, because my takeaway when I read it was it's a one-sided contract between the county government and the Central Iowa Council of Government, I think is, and that was $6,000 in about a 4 to 5 month time frame, I believe, if I recall correctly. But I think to Robin's point, Vice Chairman Whitaker, that facilitation is a good thing. Communication is a great thing, and I certainly am absolutely for that, especially as you mentioned, the longer range. But I would like to see the school system have, the school board or the superintendent have a say in that contract.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm in a differing opinion on that. I would like to make a motion. I feel like the county commissioners have extended their olive branch, and I know personally, being chair a couple of years ago, I would have relished in the fact that I would have gotten this email from them. I would like to make a motion that this board move forward with this contract and start engaging both the county commissioners and the Board of Education in this process.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor.
I'll second, if that's what we're asking for, second.
Okay, there's a second. Any discussion?
Oh, I'm just going to repeat what I said. I'm going to vote no until we're a party to that contract. I'm all for communication. We've asked for a March 17th meeting, that we've been denied that communication. So I don't understand why we have to spend $6,000. I mean, I understand the facilitation of it, and I can appreciate that and think that that's a great thing for some longer range planning that has some time, but I don't understand why we can't move forward with the March 17th meeting. So I would be for it if in fact we could have Stanley County School Superintendent, School Board, a party to that contract as well.
Any more discussion?
If we're going to ask our county commissioners for a large sum of money at this point, we need to commit, and we're not paying for this. They are facilitating literally everything. All we have to do is show up, and right now, I know how we vote on this board. It's very apparent. I already know how this vote's going to go, and it's a shame that we could get started on
March 17th.
preparing for, no, we can't facilitate March 17th. That's too soon, because we didn't answer an email on February the 9th and 10th. So we're going to say no when the county commissioners are actively pursuing communication from us. So that's not on me.
Can I get a point of information from Dustin? What specific parts of the contract are you wanting altered?
Well, the school board is not a party to the contract. So as all the information and flow is going back and forth, that's only between
You answered my
the
question.
county manager and
You answered
the
my
county
question.
commissioner board and the Central Iowa Council of Government.
You answered my question.
So
You're not talking about specifics, you're talking
I'm
about-
for all of that, except we're not a party to the contract, and it's $6,000, so I hear a lot
You're
of,
talking about we're not party of the information.
we're not listed as a client on that contract. And I would, again, fall back to the general statutes that, Mrs. Allman is referencing, they're paying for, well, they're required to pay for school buildings. I mean, that's a general statute. We're not a tax levying authority in North Carolina Public School Boards.
Okay, any further discussion?
I just ask that we have a roll call vote for this, please.
Do what now?
Individual vote, please.
Oh, an individual vote on, okay. All in favor, okay, of moving forward with this Centralina contract that was been handed down by the county commissioners that involves them and the Centralina. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, there's 3. Okay. That motion has failed. Okay. Is there another?
Madam Chair, I would like to go back to what this board originally decided to do, and I'd like to move that the Board of Education just proceed with our request, because we have not gotten a response back from them about the joint meeting that we requested for March 17th. This is a date that we agreed upon at our February 18th work session. It's to address the 2 capital projects that were included in the needs-based grant applications. The pre-planning has already been completed for these, and we know these are immediate facility needs that we have. And I'll go back to and say that the commissioners were previously advised that we would return and we would request funding for these 2 projects if they were not awarded in the grant funding.
Madam Chair, just for a point of information, that was not a unanimous vote.
Okay, we have a motion, okay, to go back to March the 17th. We have the pre-planning already to meet with our commissioners to go back over what we had been over before with the 2 projects, the capital projects, with the replacement school and for the addition of West Stanley Middle. That is the motion that is on the floor.
Madam Chair, point of order, what happened to the first motion?
It failed.
Okay. I think I zoomed back out in the 70s.
Well, she just took a for, she didn't take an against, so.
So we have a motion. Is there a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion?
I'm going to go ahead and discuss why I'm a no on this. And it's because there's no way that we can get this facilitated by March 17th. If we would have reached back out to the commissioners again by February 9th or 10th and started working with them and answering their emails, that may be an option. But we chose to ignore that email for weeks at a time. And so that is why I'm going to be a no, is because I strongly believe that there's no way that we can't even sit here and talk amongst ourselves right now. I'm a no because it needs to be facilitated, and I know that the commissioners are requesting this, and I'm willing to do whatever they ask at this point to be able to address the needs of our county.
Okay, thank you. Just remember that we are only asking for a facilitator and not the other that would be getting into our.
Yes, but we would have to have a facilitator, and I'm assuming that would be a facilitator at some cost, correct?
I don't think the motion was for a facilitator for March 17th. I don't believe that was the request.
That's what I'm asking.
Joint board meeting
Yeah.
is
It's just that,
continued, at least in my term,
Just for a joint.
like we did last time for the grant application. I mean, it's
Okay.
just a joint meeting.
like we have done in the past.
We've
Right,
done.
okay, that's what I'm at, yeah.
Okay.
Because if it's facilitated.
So
we-
March the
Yeah, so that-
17th, the motion then is to have a joint commissioner meeting, okay, as planned on March the 17th. And we had a second.
For discussion purposes, yet again, just a point of reference, I guess, when we originally voted on this, all the information was not disclosed at the time to all board members.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, we'll do raising hands. All in favor, say aye. Aye. 3. All opposed? And I will break the tie. Aye. So we will,
we are requesting that March the 17th joint meeting. Okay? And email, make sure that email goes to every commissioner as well as every board member. And I think we have set the date on 5 p.m. in the G. McIntyre room.
Next, we have comments. I'm just going to see if there's anyone who wants to make any comments. And Dr. Dennis, I'm going to call on you first with legislative things probably.
I just got a few things. There's not a lot happening in the legislature right now, but we do have a National School, School Social Worker Week, which is March 1st through 7th this week. March 2nd through 6th also is the National School Breakfast Week and Read Across America Week. And had the opportunity to do some reading, and I know some of you have as well. Always a fun week. Great to see the kids' faces when you get to read to them. It's really, really a fun time. As far as days, March the 6th is Maintenance Appreciation, or Worker Appreciation Day, I should say. We do have daylight savings time on March the 8th, and of course St. Patrick's Day the 17th. And as far as our month, it is our Music and our Schools month. So thank you. That's all I have for today.
Thank you. Anyone else? Of course you do. Okay, Mr. Sorensen.
Try to change the tenor just a little bit. Envy is actually a normal human emotion, and as we age, we tend to reach a place where we can keep it in check. That being said, something happened recently that has me green with envy. The South Stanley High School wrestling program made me so jealous I couldn't stand myself for about a week there. We have 2 state champions on one team, top 3 team in regionals and states, which has never happened in the school's history before. They had their first ever female medalist. I am so jealous, I really am. If that wasn't enough, West Stanley's girls won the state tournament as a team. It's like the historical things taking place on a wrestling match, so you know I'm excited about that. So, and then I didn't get to wallow in my fields very long, as I got to bear witness to our county spelling bee. Used to be I could keep up with them about the 4th round. I didn't make it that far this year. Those kids are amazing, and they blew me away with the passion that they brought to that competition. And then finally, the word's not out on the street yet, but a little birdie told me our Stanley County Skills USA contingent dominated the region Friday and Saturday. I think it was a 2-day event, taking just a ton of medals, first place. A lot of those kids will be going to the state competition in Greensboro. And if Dr. Dennis is up to putting up with me for 3 hours in the car, I look forward to going and watching them see that. So those people that stood in front of us for meeting and exceeding growth, I get so tired of negative comments towards our school system. We are grossly overachieving because of those people that were sitting down here and that fellow right over there and his staff. We need to stop taking for granted how good our school system is working as it is. So when people mention meddling with it from the outside, I'm not going to get defensive. I'm going to get ugly. So we got so much to celebrate, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the CTE results be publicized completely. They really rocked. They really rocked. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Madam Chair. I have something so that I don't get off track here. I went ahead and just wrote up. I want to also congratulate all of the teachers that exceeded and met growth today, and or that were recognized today that have exceeded and met growth. But it does go to show us that shiny new walls and buildings don't make good students. It's our folks in the buildings doing the hard work every day. And I have a couple other things I wanted to say here. As we recognize this month as Developmental Disability Awareness Month, I want to reaffirm my commitment to ensuring that every student has the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive. Public education is about opportunity, and that means creating environments where all students feel seen, supported, and empowered to reach their full potential. This month is just not about awareness, it's about action, inclusion, and continued commitment. I also got to spend time this week reading at Locust, Aquadale, and Richfield. This week is about more than books. It's about building lifelong love of learning. I am very grateful to our media specialists and volunteers and families who make literacy a daily priority in our schools. Lastly, I want to address serious concerns regarding transparency and communication within this board. When emails are withheld, discussions occur outside of properly noticed meetings, or information is not shared equally among board members, it undermines trust, both within this board and with the public we serve. That is not how effective governance works, and it is not what our community expects from us. Backdoor conversations and a lack of open communication with county commissioners damage critical partnerships and create unnecessary division. It is our responsibility to operate in a transparent manner. The chair's role is to facilitate communication, not to control or limit it. Every board member deserves equal access to information, and the public deserves full confidence that decisions are being made openly and ethically. If we are going to lead with integrity, we must commit to transparency, accountability, and respectful collaboration.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just wanted to thank Chairman Eford for being here. And I hope your board will consider what we talked about tonight and that they will consider that March 17th meeting. But I do appreciate you coming. I think y'all had a really short meeting last night. So I see you're making up for it tonight, but we do appreciate you taking the time when you don't have to come and listen. So that's all I have, Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Sorensen?
I forgot to shout out this dude right here. When I was slinging praise around about our academics, the leadership, we're here in the education business, and the leadership that we've experienced coming out of COVID, which was a nightmare to start with, is exemplary. Now, I was going to say privately, but that don't mean nothing to nobody.
Well, I'll wrap it up. Congratulations to Ms. Watson for, being nominated for the legislative at-large committee. And thank you, Chairman Scott Eford, for being here. And also, it is a great time to go into the schools and read and hear things that children have to say to you, or when you have boots on and they're rubbing your boot, trying to figure out, why the Lorex has on boots, whatever. So, and I will be attending Raleigh, the Board of Directors, orientation on Thursday and full-blown meetings on Friday. If any of you have some things that you want me to bring up, I most certainly will. I know I'm on goals and settings and adjustments, and I'm also serving on finance and budget. So if there's some things that you feel like you would like for me to bring up, it's nice that Stanley County has a place at the table. With that being said, our next board meeting will be Wednesday, and take note of this. It will be Wednesday, April the 1st, 2026, in the Gene McIntyre Room, beginning at 6:15. And now I just need a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. Second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you.